So yeah, Ryan W. was asking about the Gran Board, and I haven't been playing with it a lot. As you can see, I've been playing with some steel. He was asking about the online part of it, and we didn't even really play with that at all. We took a look at it, but we never did play against anybody online. So this is Juno the turtle. He's been living with us for about 5 years now. We got him. He was just a little smaller than a quarter. He seems to like hanging out here. He's got some tank mates, just some regular feeder goldfish that have gotten kind of big, and then there's a plecostomus living in here. And I'm not sure what this guy here is. So I looked this guy up online, and he's called a painted aquatic turtle, for the best I could tell. I'm no expert, and I don't remember what his technical name was, but painted aquatic turtle, and that's about as big as they get. And I believe, according to what I've read, that he's a male. The females have a bulge, a little bit of a bulge to the bottom of their shell, according to what I've read. So this is a male, but as you can see, super tame. He'll let you pick him up. He doesn't really seem to mind. If you're walking by the tank and he's swimming around, he'll come over right to where you're at and want to see what you're doing. Splash at the water, basically feed me, man. So yeah, what we were saying about the Gran Board though, about the online part, I didn't really buy the board to play against people online. We've looked a couple different times just to see how many people was playing or whatever. I have looked at it, and I haven't done it. It just doesn't interest me that much to play with people online that I don't know. And if one of my buddies had one or something across town, or wherever, if one of my buddies had one and I wanted to play darts with them, that would be kind of cool. But to just play with random people, you don't get a video feed of them playing, so you never know if they're really hitting the board with their darts or their fingers. And if you're not trusting of strangers to play fair with you. And that's not really why I play darts, I guess. It's darts for me when I'm playing. It's one of a couple things. One, to hang out with my buddies, or two, I come home from work and I just kind of want to zone out for a little bit and throw javelins at the wall, and online play didn't look that interesting to me. We looked today, what was there, 4 people worldwide playing on the Gran Board, so it doesn't look like it's all that popular of a thing. It's still in beta too, so.
Yeah, they do make you agree to be a beta tester before they'll let you try the online play.
And at some point I said, well, I might try it out, if nothing else, just for the sake of the guys that are kind of wondering how that works. We might throw up a little something.
One of the interesting things I've noticed, having all these bigger goldfish living in here with the turtle, is that the turtle nips at them a little bit, and you can see all of them have their tails beat up just a little bit. He doesn't seem to be able to get a hold of them long enough to, eat them all the way off or, do any significant damage. But he certainly nips at them.
Yeah, during feeding time, sometimes they come up and get around him when he's eating, and he don't really care for that. He'll turn around and kind of nudge at him, nip at him.
He seems to chase him around some, even if he's not actually just trying to bite him. I don't know if he thinks it's a game, or he seems to get some enjoyment out of just chasing the goldfish around.
Yeah, so he's actually got his own food. You can see some of those balls floating around in there, but whenever I feed the goldfish, he goes after their food. I suppose that's fine because they end up eating his food as well. And that's primarily his diet. He gets some fruits and some vegetables, but not a whole lot. Small amounts every once in a while. And he seems to enjoy things like green beans. That's probably one of his favorite treats, I guess, is beans, green beans. The tank's a little bit cloudy. We were doing a little bit of maintenance on it today. It was kind of funny while I was in there working. He's swimming around down there trying to see what I'm doing, playing with my hand. You would think that it would scare him off having me anywhere near him. But no, if I stick my hand in there, he wants to figure out exactly what I was doing. He's probably hungry. Invariably, when anybody sees the turtle for the first time, one of the things they always say is, "Don't they have salmonella? Aren't you afraid of getting salmonella?" And I always have to kind of laugh at this. It's like, well, if you're going to mess around with the tank or handle him, you're definitely going to want to wash your hands afterwards. I don't let him climb around on my food cannons, on my food preparation surfaces or anything like that. He's in a fish tank, and I'm smart enough to never put him in my mouth, so it shouldn't ever be a problem me getting salmonella from him.
Rule number one of owning a turtle: don't put your turtle in your mouth.
Yeah, and the little kids want to handle them and all that, and that's what I say. Use your own discretion on that. You know, make sure they wash their hands afterwards, and make sure they're not putting their fingers in their mouth while they're messing with him and stuff. But yeah, it's a turtle. Things in life are dirty. Things in life has germs. Get over it, people. He's got a little screen that goes over this. Normally, it's just off for filming today.
I've never seen him actually make an attempt at getting out of the tank, though.
No.
He seems pretty happy in there.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a story on how we got him, which, we broke one of those rules of taking nature out of nature or whatever. He was actually down at the creek where we kayak. We were getting out one day, and there was a muddy footprint that was drying up, and he was stuck down in the bottom of it, and he was drying up, and he was all dehydrated, and he didn't look good. And I suppose I could have just thrown him back in the creek, and he might have been all right, but something told me to bring him home, thought maybe he'd have a better chance of surviving, so I did, and so that's how we ended up with him. But I don't suggest you just going out and hunting turtles and throwing them in your tank.
He started in a 10-gallon tank, didn't he?
Yeah, he was in a tent when we first got him. He was in a 10-gallon tank for a very short amount of time until I could get something sorted out, and that's actually why this tank was given to me, was because the 10-gallon just wasn't going to be big enough for him, so somebody donated this to us.
I think this is 50, right?
Yeah, something like that. 50 or 55,
55,
something like that. And it's over-filtered quite a bit. That filter was supposedly rated for a 100-gallon tank, and it seems to do a pretty good job. And this is probably a few more fish than I'd really like to have in here with them. Turtles are kind of a dirty animal, so he needs a lot of filtration, and you add the goldfish in there, which they're not extremely clean, and you know, you are gonna have to clean your filters quite a bit, but it seems to do okay. Normally there wouldn't be this many goldfish in here. I throw him in there. He'll eat feeder guppies and feeder goldfish from time to time. I'll throw them in there and he'll eat them. And these are the ones that the last time I threw them in here, he didn't eat them and they just got big. So at some point, these will probably go out to the pond and get tossed in the pond.
It's its own little form of natural selection. The ones smart enough to not get eaten by the turtle get to survive.
Yeah, my buddy's mom's got a little little pond in her backyard, a little water feature. I might end up taking them out there to her.
I think we might have dumped a set of them out there at some point.
I think you're right. I think that's where the last set of survivors ended up.
Looks like the Pacostomys is down there, working underneath those rocks right there. It's kind of hard to see, they always are.
And we'll probably get a few comments about the tank itself. Just we've got a lot of algae and things like that growing, and this tank's been up for a long time, and I don't over clean it. That's just the way I run the tank, and I'm not overly obsessed with making sure I don't have any algae or anything growing, as you can see. And it seems to do fine. Between the Plecostomys and the fish, they seem to keep it down to a manageable level. Now today, before we filmed, I took a little bit off the sides here. But mostly I just leave it alone and let it run. Keep the filters clean.
But yeah, that's Juno the turtle. And he lives here. This isn't the only animal video we're going to be doing. We've got some ideas of stuff we might like to do in the future, so go ahead and subscribe if you want to see other cool stuff like this. And we'll let you know.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by for the tour of the fish tank. He's still running his lights for some reason.